what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome to another episode of Found Footage Fridays with my co-host, Tom Armour.
Back for another night of fun.
Another
Or
night of
something.
fun.
Or something.
Or something. This will be fun. This is a good one.
This is one I think we have since we started Found Footage. So we're now like what, 60 episodes in or more, and I can't believe we haven't got to this one yet.
We've referenced it plenty.
We've referenced it many times. I think when we did that original way back when, if you go back in the time machine, we did that sort of like before this show was even created. We did that show with a bunch of others and talked about 30 some found footage movies or whatever it was. That was definitely one we mentioned. But it's exciting to finally get to it.
Yeah. So today we are talking the 2020 found footage film Host.
And I would definitely define this as mainstream found footage.
I'm inclined to agree at this point.
You can't get much. If anyone knows found footage other than like the Blair Witch Project, it's probably like nowadays, like most people know Host. I would say they've just started down this path, this rocky road.
Yeah, Host kind of like blew up. It came out of like nowhere
as
far as like its popularity and stuff. It was weird. Well, and I watched it when it first came out.
So did I. Yeah,
because I really liked the other one that it reminded me of, Unfriended.
Yep.
I really liked that one. And so I was like, oh, it's similar. I thought it'd be cool. And then, it blew me away. I couldn't believe how good it was.
I think it was a perfect storm for this movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this movie was the first full-length feature film to be filmed entirely in quarantine.
Yep.
If you're not familiar, I'll tell you what it's about. 6 friends accidentally invite the attention of a presence during an online seance and begin noticing strange occurrences in their homes. So the 6 friends are doing a Zoom call, and the entire movie is 57 minutes long. It is literally the length of a Zoom call, which is one of its smartest elements, I think.
Short movies are okay.
Yes.
Just like sometimes a long movie is appropriate. Short movies, they have their place, and especially in horror and especially in found footage, it really works. And so I wish there were more. It just was exactly the right length, exactly what it needed to be. And I think this movie, as I say, was sort of a perfect storm. The timing for it, filmed during the pandemic, released during the pandemic. People, when this came out, were still stuck inside. And so, in a way, everyone could just so relate to these people. And I mean, that we were living, if you could put yourself back in that place and that time, we were so living on screen and through Zoom, and it felt so real right then. And I think they couldn't have timed it. And in fact, it probably, I would go as far as to say it wouldn't have had as big an impact if it had been released, outside the pandemic, before the pandemic. Maybe wouldn't have even been as much in everyone's consciousness if it had, similar to Unfriended. Unfriended did not come out during the pandemic, and I don't think it had the same feeling.
Yeah. And the biggest thing for Unfriended, though, it reaching who it did, though, it was an MTV movie.
Yeah.
So it was more higher budget, more, like kind of mainstream. People were talking about it. But yeah, this movie's like, it's crazy because I rewatched it, or I rewatched half of it, just because I hadn't seen it in like a couple, like maybe like 2 years. I watched it. I've seen it twice, but it's been a while since I've seen it. And so I was like, oh, I'll revisit. Well, then like, I was like getting ready for like to go get settled, because I watch these before I go to bed like a lunatic. And I was like, I turned it on, and I got about right when things start getting serious, and I was like, I kind of forgot how scary this is. I might have to wait and watch it later, because it started to like make me like, I was on edge. I was like, if I watch this and then try to go straight to bed, it's going to be an issue, I can tell. And so I was like, And I just rewatched all the Saw movies, get ready to see Saw, and I was having like dreams about Saw, and I was like, I really don't want to push it. I was like, I'll just cut it here, and I ended up only watching half of it. But my point is that it's legitimately scary. Like the things that happen and the pace in which they happen and the practical uses of stuff happening, like really well done. Like it's really effective.
I mean, well, and it feels real because of, I think, how they filmed it too. I think they were all filming from their houses and apartments and literally over Zoom. Like I can't think of another film that was filmed in such a way. I mean, they literally couldn't be near each other, and they still pulled this off. It was one of very few, I think, pieces of cinema that were created during that time period. It's really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's yeah.
So it's done by the same folks who did eventually did the Dash Cam movie as well. Which, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that episode, we weren't as big I guess, fans of that movie.
No.
Didn't have the same. It didn't hit the same way, I don't think.
No.
But this movie, it's fast moving. Not just because of the overall length, but it just does move.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that even in that short of, you think with a short movie, and I think often the reason a lot of people avoid going with movies this length is they're worried that you're not going to get enough time with the characters or enough of an opportunity to develop whoever these people are supposed to be and to really care enough about them before something happens to them. But I feel like, they tell us just what we need to know and enough of what we need to know and give us enough of their characters so that by the time terrible things happen to them all, we actually are scared and feel bad for them, which is very impressive that they were able to pull that off. So it's with the names of it's Rob Savage,
Gemma Hurley,
and Jed Shepherd. Yeah.
Yep.
Do they have anything else coming out? I mean, post Dash, they must. I mean, they must have something.
I mean, I have no idea what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure though, because it's literally the same exact team. I mean, the actress that plays the friend who is really to blame for everything that happens in this movie is the wife of one of the characters in Dashcam.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple phases, I think.
Yeah, so it's very much a very like close knit, it seems like group. So I'm sure they'll do something else in the future. Because Dashcam came out last summer, right?
Some, at least, at this point. Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of great stuff in this, but that's, I don't know. Are we spoiling now? I guess
we got to do our ratings.
We got to do our ratings. Let's go there first. Let me hold my thought. Okay. Let's do some ratings.
All right, you want me to go first this time?
You go first. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have too many complaints, honestly. I think I don't think it's like perfect, but it is really, really good. So I would probably give Host maybe like teetering on like 2. Which way do I want to go? I would give Host 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a Host. We get right to the point. I'm gonna give Host 8. I'm gonna give Host 8 tapes. 8 tapes.
I was gonna go 8.5 or 9. I couldn't make my decision.
I think this movie's great. I think it's mostly why it's great is how just unique it was and how cool it was they did this during the pandemic. It's scary. I don't know if I think it's as scary as some people make it out to be. I also think some people who watch this movie flipped out in a great way about it, but they were not people who really watched a lot of found footage necessarily. And so, and if you go back over the years, there were, even though it wasn't specifically over Zoom, this idea, webcam, found footage, online sort of stuff, online game found footage, has been done a number of times
Yeah.
before Host. Now,
Yeah.
Host did it the best, probably,
Yeah, I would say so.
and it was the most authentic. They literally filmed it over Zoom, like everything about it. It was filmed during the I mean, all of it. As they say,
Mhm.
perfect storm to make it what it was. But I don't know that it was as original as everyone sort of made it out to be. It definitely is, but maybe not quite to the level.
Yeah, and I think to your point, it's just lack of exposure.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
mean, we did. What was the one we just watched?
With the birthday girl, I
The
cannot remember.
Collingswood
The
story.
Collingsworth story. Yeah,
Obviously, Unfriended. There's one I've seen called Deadware.
I watched Deadware recently.
All of these are old. I mean, these have been around.
Deadware is that same guy that did Mr. Creep and Unknown Visitor.
So maybe that one's not Isaac Rodriguez. Maybe that one's not as old. But like,
It's only a couple years old, I think,
yeah, but there are some that
that are
there's a
older.
few that have been around. There's one, the Den. I think that was one.
Yep.
Um, so, uh, but this is the best, absolutely. So
Yeah.
okay, so 8 tapes out of 10 is not too shabby.
No. No. Want to spoil? I guess.
Absolutely.
Okay. Where do we want to start with spoil? So first of
You've seen
all,
it more recently than me, so
you know what drove me crazy? And it's not because, like, I don't think this is realistic, but they, like, they're gonna do this seance, and there's the one friend who is not taking it serious at all, which is
yeah,
fine. Like, you don't have to believe in that stuff. You don't have to, but, like, you should definitely be kind about it, right? And so, like, she makes up this story about somebody who hung himself, and she's pretending to be like she's felt something or seen something, and she's like pretending to be emotional. And then when Salen, which is the seance person, the spiritualist or whatever, when she goes away, she's like, "No, I made him up. He's not real." And it's just like, like, and so
yeah,
then when all the weird stuff starts happening and they get the explanation, she's like, "Well, what you've done by doing that is you've invited in a false spirit to pretend to be something that didn't exist, and now you've got a problem." And I'm just
mhm,
like, see. She told them, she was like, "I told you to respect the spirits." And I'm like, they didn't listen, or
yeah,
she didn't listen. And then it ultimately cost so many people their lives because she wanted to be silly and funny,
yeah.
which
You
is
see,
irritating.
I don't have very much in the way of like critique or criticism with this movie. In fact, so I guess if like trying to like pick something that I would say about this
Yeah.
is actually more of a positive because it's also to do with what I really liked about this movie. Like I
Mhm.
love the length of this movie. I love that it's
Yeah.
short. It made sense for this movie. Um,
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed it, so I wanted more of it. But that's the movie probably it wouldn't have the same effect and be the same thing, I think, if it was longer. But
I,
I really liked it, so I felt like I didn't have enough, but like at the same time, I think it's exactly the length it should be. So that literally, I can't really pick apart too much. It's a great little film, definitely, but
yeah.
great film.
Well, and then the way that it ends, because it cuts out when the meeting is over, is so great because it really leaves you going like, "Ugh." Like you literally are like on the edge of your seat. Well, and I
Yeah,
think me talking about the girl that kind of sets all this off isn't so much I wouldn't like I don't think that's a complaint from me. I think it just was one of those things where I felt like that really would happen. Like not necessarily, you know what I'm saying though. Like if somebody going into something and not being like respectful or like being playful at a time that's like not really meant to be that way and kind of like pushing other people's beliefs or
yeah,
buttons about whatever just because you don't do it or you don't believe in it or whatever. And like so the setup for it felt very realistic to me because I feel
yeah,
like there are people who are like that would do that would joke or laugh or try to be funny with the person that takes it very seriously, like
yeah,
the main friend, the one that connects the psychic medium or whatever I don't know exactly what she is, but when the friend that knows her was so mad at her, she was just like, I'm like, She's like, "Can you just shut up? Like, I'm so like I told you to take this seriously." Like, she was furious about it. And then, like, of course, when she calls the psychic, she's like, "Well, you thought it was your friend. What about asking if it's your friend?" And the girl on the phone is like, "Yeah, what about your friend?" Because she knows that she lied. And then the lady's like, "Oh no, that's not good." She's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is some really smart shots, though. I really love the
absolutely.
one with the girl where she goes into the attic and you get that
Yep.
very brief glimpse. That was good. The photograph in the bedroom that looks like somebody's hanging there. That was really good.
Well, there's a lot that they did that was really smart as far as like using and I don't know if it's Zoom technology or just like sort of webcam technology that we were all becoming like, really familiar with at that point in time. And
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
there was stuff with like the face that was sort of like hanging in the background,
The
right?
filters, the
The,
little,
the filter, that's what it is, filter.
yeah.
Um, that sort of thing. We were all
The,
messing with filters,
mhm.
then, and stuff with like the cameras being paused. I don't know, just like a lot of really
Mhm.
little things.
Yeah, that scene where that one girl set up a screensaver where it's her walking
That
around her room,
yes,
that
yeah,
was so good because when it happens and we as the viewers realize it, you're like, "Oh, no." And then she
yeah.
like, boom, like into the keyboard. Like that was so
Oh, that was
good.
terrifying. Yeah,
So
yeah,
good.
really
Oh,
scary. Yeah, yeah.
that one was really good. Even the chair, I forgot about the chair. So the chair scare got me again. When the chair slides back when she's sitting in it, it goes all the way back to the wall in the kitchen. That one was good.
So let,
Um,
so let me ask you: if this movie came out now,
hmm.
how do you think it would land? Would it have had the same sort of reaction from
I
viewers?
mean, I think people would still really like it. I just don't think it would feel as close to home anymore because so many of us have just kind of had to get back to reality, right? Like,
Yeah,
we're all back and doing things, for most of us, we're back to our some whatever semblance of normal we have now. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think people would still really like it. I don't know if it would blow up the same because it
yeah.
was a straight to streaming, like this didn't go to theaters, I don't think, right? It's only an
Oh,
hour
I don't
long.
think I don't think so. Yeah,
So, and it's not that we weren't already and still are like immersed into streaming. We absolutely are. But because people are going back out to see things and not keeping all of the streamings, but like I know people are starting to cancel some stuff or they're having to pick between which ones they
yeah.
want. And it's a little bit of a different mentality regarding services like that. And so I don't know if it would have been one that a lot of people would have seen, but, I
Right.
mean, everybody had all of them during quarantine because, like, that's all we had to do.
I wonder if this movie also like a lot of people watched it. Maybe a lot did because of the length, because it was so short. They could just sort of like get it over and done with really quickly, and maybe it ended up getting a few more views than it would have if it was a longer, more traditionally, sized film.
Yeah, because if you're gonna spend your time watching something, you'd obviously much rather enjoy it, but if you're not going to enjoy it, if there's a chance it's gonna suck, you would want it to be shorter. You don't wanna
Yep.
waste 3
Yep.
hours of your life watching something that you're never gonna get back,
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, I mean, the length probably definitely played a part too. Yeah, I would agree with that.
But
And I think what they were able to do given the way this is filmed was really good. Like the scares, the things that they used, exactly like you said, utilizing the technology um and that we're all like that was suddenly a very important part of everybody's life.
yep.
I think was really, really smart. And I just think that the way that they used the different things, like you said, with the filters and the screensavers, and it was really, really smart.
Yeah. Yeah. And now this
Mhm.
movie is on every single found footage list you will find. If any list that was made
Yeah.
post host has host on it. And I think it's because it sort of has crossed over a little bit. A lot of found footage is watched by people like us, people who eat or digest a lot of this genre. And
Yeah.
I feel like host crossed over a little bit. Deadstream did. a little bit. I think the VHS movies do. Blair Witch obviously did. But beyond that, a lot of people haven't seen, maybe Creep. Sorry, but maybe Creep.
That's a pretty popular one. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of them aren't getting watched. Obviously, like Cloverfield, but I wouldn't even like. I think that's bordering on not even being found footage. You
I'm
know,
not a fan. Yeah, that one's
well, we watch so many obscure ones that your average horror movie watcher hasn't seen. But this, I would say, is not in that category. This is one everybody is going to see if they watch horror.
Yeah. Yeah. When you bring this one up, this is one that people like. It comes up a lot.
Yeah. Which is why
Even
it's
for
surprising
like,
we haven't done it.
yeah. Well, what's been kind of nice is, I mean, we've definitely done older ones too, but we've also had plenty of new ones to
Yeah.
talk about, which is
Yep.
going to be hopefully the next one. I think we agreed we'd be able to make it work because our next one should be, fingers crossed, VHS 85. No,
I have to show you what I rented from a library.
I
haven't seen it yet, but this is one I'm going to watch this month, whether we talk about it or not. Because
want to. I thought somebody posted about it recently. It's never
hard to find.
available.
It's not streaming, and WNUF Halloween Special. This is the one we've been wanting to watch for a while.
And it doesn't even give me the option to rent it.
Yeah, it's obscure. But I got it from my local library. Isn't that funny?
I don't even have a library card.
You can get one. Everyone should have a library card.
I know, but I never go.
You can rent horror movies, obscure found footage films.
I found a link to it. Dang,
Oh.
no longer available.
Oh. Okay, if you're watching this right now, if you're watching this at home and you know where Angel can rent or watch WNUF Halloween Special, we'll do it this month if both of us can watch it.
I will post on Twitter and see if somebody owns a physical they let me borrow.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did for Nightmare on Elm Street, and somebody totally came through.
Okay.
Maybe I'll send them a merch or something and
cross my fingers. If you have this movie, WNUF Halloween Special, comment below.
Yeah. Yeah, because I do want to watch that one. Yeah, so I'm hoping we'll be able to get in VHS. What's the other one? What's the other big one that comes out this VHS 85 and
oh
my god.
The new Hell House.
The new Hell House. That's October 30th though.
Yeah. Why are they waiting until the day before Halloween? I mean, I want that now.
I don't know. I can't, and the thing is like it also has like a Monday release because Halloween's on Tuesday this year. I'm like 97% sure.
Really weird. Yeah, like they could have done that Friday before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not going to change anything. The same number.
I'm looking forward to that. I love the Hell House movies. I know this is sort of like, I don't know. I don't think prequel is the right word, but it's like sort of in the universe of Hell House. It's going to be something different, and I'm excited for it.
They've called, the creators have said it is not a prequel or a sequel.
Okay. It's
so
just in the same universe. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve suggested that could mean it's going on at the same time, maybe, as some of the stuff from the first one, because they reference Abaddon. So it's obviously like,
yeah.
I didn't like 2 or 3. I couldn't finish 3. I didn't really care for 2. 1 is good until the end, which we covered that one last year in October. But I'm hoping this one will give me back the atmosphere that 1 had. I really need it to do that again. So yeah, so we're going to cover both. Hopefully we can get VHS 85 in the following week because it comes out on a Friday. It comes out next Friday or this Friday. It came out today.
Did it? Oh,
on the 6th, October 6th. That's by the time this comes out, it'll be out. VHS.
So is that what we're watching next? Are we doing VHS?
We're going to try. I think as long as we can make the recording work the following week, I think that was the plan.
Okay.
Yeah, because everybody's going to be talking. That one's going to be big, I think.
Tune in.
Yeah. But yeah,
next
I
week.
guess that's really all we had on a host. We've talked about how much we like Toast before. We're fans.
It's a good one.
It's
But
a
you know
good
that.
one. And I showed my mother this one and Unfriended, and she liked Host a lot more. She said Unfriended was too hard to follow, but I think it's because she's older and there's a lot of social media stuff.
Yeah, probably.
But this one, but she really liked Host. Host was very scary to her. Like she really liked it. So fun
Look at
for
you
all ages.
showing your mom found footage films.
Yeah. I tried to get my dad to watch the Monster Project. He didn't like it.
It's a
He's
specific taste.
It is a very specific taste. It was a little too slow for him. He's one
Mm.
of the people in his old age, he fast forwards things into parts he's concerned about.
Oh
But
no.
it's very obnoxious to watch movies and TV with my dad.
Yeah,
But anyway,
that's no way. Can't do that.
it drives me nuts. He's like, "Well, when does something happen?" I'm like, "Something is literally happening right now. It's called storytelling. Stop it." You can't get to the good stuff
Well,
without the build up.
maybe he'll like Host then, because it's just bang, bang, bang.
Bang, bang, bang. It's quick. So anyway. But
All
yeah,
right.
we like Host.
Host.
You should check out Host. It's on Shutter. You can stream it if you have Shutter.
We'll
But
see you next
yeah,
week, I
so
guess.
yeah, hopefully next week we'll have 85 ready to rock. So
Looking forward to it.
yeah, so that's all I have for this episode of Found Footage Fridays. Thank
All
you
right.
guys so much for hanging out with us. As always, hope you have a great weekend coming up, a great week that follows, and Tom and I will see you next week.
Bye.